to the closing table with the Money Guys. My name's Sidney Young and Jared Parrish.
Good afternoon.
The Money Guys.
Money
Brought to you by
Guys.
AllureFinancial.com. Jared, this is our first podcast of the closing table.
First podcast at the closing table.
Man, and we wanted to talk about what basically is Allure Financial and the closing table. What's it all about?
The whole idea about what we're going to be doing is educating everyone on what their options are with real estate investment financing.
There's tons
In
of
general.
options.
There's tons of options. There's tons of things that they can do, certain things that they shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, yesterday we actually had a conversation with someone who's working with contractors that require upfront
Yeah,
payment.
that wasn't a good conversation.
No, it wasn't.
See,
So, I mean,
it's one thing when you have a conversation with someone that you think will listen to your experience. It's another thing when you have a conversation with someone that is just completely not going to listen to your experience.
yeah. And the whole thing comes down to advice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's the whole idea behind the podcast. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to joke around. We're going to talk about the current state of real estate, talk about the market. We're going to talk about little tips that we've learned through the years. And,
That's right.
Little tidbits here and there. And we're going to have a good time.
Can I give my disclaimer?
All right, do it.
Okay, we see our background. We're in the first floor in the office building here. You see people walking by, traffic walking by. We cannot control what happens when people go by the window. So be aware.
Also, we'll have some homeless walking by.
We had an experience this morning we had to call the police about. But anyway. That
was interesting.
Interesting, yeah. But that's my disclaimer for anybody with young children watching. They could get a very valuable lesson.
About how homeless men sometimes wear diapers and they get tired of wearing them.
I don't know to break it to you. That was a homeless woman.
It was?
Yes. Anyway.
Did she self-identify as a woman?
Yeah, she did. Anyway, back to the closing table. I want to start off talking about fix and flips. We
Fix and
do a
flips.
ton of fix and flips. It sort of has become, we have the 30-year product for people who want to buy and hold, but fix and flips has sort of become our specialty, hasn't
It
it?
really has.
And why? I mean, there's certain things we do that other people don't, isn't there?
Okay, I've got a question for you that'll kind of highlight that. When a lot of people search for financing for the fix and flips, how long does it typically take them to get a
2.5, 3 weeks. They got to
2.5
order a
to
full-blown
3
appraisal.
weeks? Now we got a call the other day about a lady who had a great deal, and she wanted to move forward with a fix and flip. How long did it take us to get her an approval?
Oh my God! Well, let me give you the exact time frame. I put a post on Facebook about it. This is my best one to date. I try to get everything from start to finish within 3 days. Sometimes I impress myself there, Mr. G. Jay,
Oh,
excuse me.
you're so good. You're so good. Oh my God, you're so good.
He does impressions, by the way. You're gonna hear him. We got a call. The call exactly 9:15 a.m. And we had sent the loan app out over the weekend. So she calls at 9:15 with the app in. Okay, we have our senior processor, Ting Ting,
Ting ting.
Christina. Christina starts the processing
Gonna have to
part.
get a little bell.
Right, Ting Ting. She goes by Ting Ting. She started the process. We got our hold of our fund because we have to negotiate with our fund to get these people the best rate. Even though we're joint venture partners, we have to underwrite the deal well. So we start our underwriting process. We go to the fund and say, here's this, and this. What do you think we can do for this particular client? Now, that was at 9:15. It took us till 12 because we got lazy, okay?
Hey, got to make it look like we're working for it.
All right. So at 12 noon, we presented an offer to her. By 1 o'clock, she accepted the offer.
And Title said that they could get everything ready.
Well,
by
I
the next
immediately
day.
had Ting Ting send it to Title.
Yeah,
David
and
saw
she got it. She got it in, and they
Yeah.
came back. They were like, "This looks good. They're
We
going
can
to need to
close
get flood
Wednesday afternoon.
insurance."
Yeah.
I mean, boom. I mean, there's a big difference when you're going out and you're looking at wholesale properties, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, and if you go onto Facebook, you're going to see this a lot. If you go onto wholesale pages, real estate pages, people are going to post up wholesale properties available, and a lot of times they have cash buyers only.
Yeah.
They don't want to wait around for 3 to 4 weeks for someone to get financing
And the term
together.
cash buyers is a psychological thing, meaning if you don't have money in the bank, don't call me.
Yeah, that's the idea. They think, oh man, well, I don't have the cash. I'm going to have to finance this, so I'm not going to buy it.
Yep.
A lot of wholesalers, they want that quick turnaround, so they're not really willing to wait around for for financing. They don't want to wait 3 or 4 weeks for financing. So when you're able to partner with someone like us to do the financing for you,
You just become a cash buyer.
become a cash buyer, being able to get it done in 2 days.
Now, let's talk about the true cash buyer. He's got $400,000 or $500,000 in cash laying around, and he can make an offer on it. Why would you use your own money to do that?
I've got an idea.
Why?
I know someone who does.
Who?
You know him too, Uncle C.
Oh, yeah, Uncle C.
But you know what? But since he has that type
Uncle
of cash,
C's mafia.
yeah. He stops saying that. But the thing with Uncle C, the way he does it, because he has so much in cash reserves,
Yeah.
he's able to buy the property and then come to us and do a cash out refund.
Yeah, that's very true.
So
'Cause
this way
he moves quick. Like
Yeah.
we move quick on fix and flips. He buys. I mean, he'll close as soon as title. If title and cleared the same day, I think he would close the same day.
No,
But
it's
you're right.
possible, yeah.
He comes back to us and does the cash out.
but
So,
now the vast majority of everyone listening to this, all three of them, you're not going to need hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in your bank account in order to be considered a cash buyer.
No.
You just need to get to the closing table quickly.
Let's say you've never done a deal before. Let's say you got, I don't know, $50,000. It took you 18 years to save up, and you got it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? You don't need it. You need a portion of it as the down payment into the deal.
Mm-hmm.
You maybe need $20,000. Now that $20,000 is to get you access to maybe $130,000 property, fix and flip. The funds are escrowed, so you don't have to worry about any of that. The funds are put up 100% in escrow for rehab. So you get into the deal, you fix it, you flip it. We fund you in 3 days' time, and then you turn around and sell it either as close to appraised value, full appraised value, or somewhere close to it. And so the whole process, 3-4 months max.
Can be.
And you may
We've had people turn things around in a matter of 4 or 5 weeks.
We've also had people do fix and flip with us, and then they get attached to that property and say, I want to put a renter in here and keep it. Well, then now we're going to refi them out of the fix and flip into one of our 30-year products.
Right. Now, let's say you do have someone, maybe they had a large lawsuit settlement, life insurance settlement, maybe they inherited money and they said, well, I don't need financing for any of this. I already have cash. I can go ahead and move forward. That's where we help with strategies as well. So let's say, for instance, if I had $300,000 and I could use that for fix and flip, am I still going to want financing?
Absolutely, because with $300,000, you can do several fix and flips.
So exactly. So you're going to take that same amount of money.
Now, question. That scenario just played out this morning on a phone call. You've got all that money, but you don't want to use it, but do you have other paid-for property? This one client had 2 paid-for properties that are in the $300,000 mark each. We can cross-collateralize so you don't have to use your out-of-pocket money other than closing costs.
Correct.
So we've done deals. Every deal is different. We closed a deal where we took a second lien from the seller as the deposit up front. So we skin every deal differently, man. There's no 2 deals alike. It's fun.
It's not like coming to the bank with us. We actually consult you on what's the best way to get your project completed.
Now we know the personality of our hedge fund manager that we negotiate with. We know the personality of what each one looks for. We know what they will do, what they won't do. Well, I say that. As times change, that sort of changed too.
Yeah.
For the positive.
Well, I mean, we learn things every day.
Yeah.
I don't care how long you've been in any type of industry, you're always going to learn something new. I think that's one of the really cool things about having an open mind and just being open to learning new things, because the industries are always changing every day.
Now, with that being said and changed, we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, guess what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about how you get started with that process.
We're going to talk about money?
We're going to talk about
like
the
money.
actual money. Money. Okay, so don't go away. We'll be right back with the closing table with the money guys. We'll be right back.
Want to know one of the secrets to real estate? Getting to the finish line first. Because there is no profit in second place. Allura Financial can now close your fix and flip in 1 to 2 business days. No more appraisal fees or waiting time. There's still no credit check required. We can now finance up to 85% of your purchase and rehab. Call us right now at 833-896-6639 and get to the finish line first with Allura Financial.
Welcome back to the closing table with the Money Guys. Once again, Sidney Young.
And Jared Parrish.
All right. Now, before we went to commercial break, we were talking about the actual money itself. How much can you get? What determines how much money you can borrow, and then how do you pay that money back? So let's go to the technical number side with Jared Parrish.
I don't know why I'm considered the numbers guy.
You got more brain power than me.
It's a solar panel for intelligence. Promise. So let's look at each deal. You're going to expect to put down anywhere between 10 and 20% down. Well, 10 to 25 actually, kind of depending on a number of factors. Expect to put that much down. So going back to the example that we said before, I've got $300,000, Sidney. Why do I need financing for anything? Well, would it be better to take $300,000 and finance one flip, or take $300,000 and finance 5 flips?
Yeah. And with that being said, if you've never done a deal before, take that $300,000, start finding your 5 flips. Don't wait till you find all 5. Do one at a time. But before you do that, form your LLC. Become a real estate investment corporation.
Yeah. I mean, it protects you financially.
And
Taxes
when you
and
make that
whatever else.
offer, it looks better than Joe Smuck, I'm going to buy your property.
Yeah.
And
Do you know a lot of Joe Schmucks?
I know Joe Smuck 1 or 2. We're up there now.
Oh.
Okay. And also, I have a ton of clients that have me on their phone. When they find a property, I tell them, before you make an offer on a property, call me. All I need is the address. I can tell you what we prospectively would think that property will appraise for, and what numbers we can deal with as far as on the money. So if you send me a deal, let's say let's use round numbers because I don't have that same brain power you have. $100,000 is worth. I know we can loan maybe $75,000 on that. Okay, and so with that being said, you're buying it for $50,000. You need $20,000 in rehab. Boom, we're in. Or if you're buying it for $60,000 and you need $30,000 in rehab, well, you got a gap there that's starting to develop, and so we got to figure out a way to close that gap. That make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Now, not only on this podcast do we talk about what you're going to need to do, tips and tricks, information on the market, things like that, but we also help you with pitfalls, possible pitfalls.
True.
What are some problems that we've come across?
Ooh, man. Okay.
Recently, actually.
Yeah. God. Let's go to the
It
LLC.
starts with a T and ends with idle. Making sure.
What could that be?
I don't
Jeez.
know. You have to make sure that you get things straight for title.
With that being said, explain the situation we had with the distorted LLC, that they bought the LLC that had a property attached to it.
That's something that we're starting to see a little bit more frequently. Instead of buying the property, so real estate investors right now are setting up an individual LLC, and it's owning one asset, being one property. And then when they go to sell it, instead of selling the property, they're selling the LLC that owns the property.
Which can create problems if you have multiple LLC owners.
It can create a shit storm.
Yeah.
And I think that's putting it lightly.
Yeah, we went through a lot to get that deal closed. The other issue.
But we got it closed.
We did get it closed.
We did get it closed.
That's the important part. The other issue is, when you have disgruntled business partners in an LLC.
That happens too.
And one says, I'm not going to sign unless you do this, and they put they put a list of things for you to do that they know you won't do but guess what? Mm-hmm. We got it done.
We got it done. Also, when you go to buy a house, ask if there is an existing survey.
Oh, that's a good one, yes.
A lot of lenders right now are wanting surveys on the property.
And surveys aren't overnight.
No, they're not overnight, and that can delay it. If you have an existing survey, send it over. Make sure it's legible. It has to be legible. If title can't read it, guess what? They're going to say, we're going to have to order another one.
Well, and explain to them where they can get an existing survey.
From whoever closed on the property last.
If you own the property for 5 years, look for the title company that closed it last.
They should have one. Now, not all title companies are going to have it. Maybe you have to go back 2 or 3 purchases. But when you purchase the property, or if whenever whoever you're buying it from purchased the property, if they can remember the title company or still have the title documents, they can look through there to try to find the survey. If they don't have it, the possibilities of finding it really come down to nil.
And the surveys are primarily on the 30-year products. On our fix and flips, we haven't had a request for a survey. Our funds, the personality fund, each fund is different. So it's primarily on the 30-year products.
Now the podcast is the closing table with the money guys. Now, you know what the best part about the closing table is, man?
What's that?
When you actually get to the closing table, when you've got a real estate deal, because someone is making some money.
Hey, that's important. No one does a deal with us because all of our deals are investor deals. The word investor means you're investing. You're putting money up on a deal. That's why we have these people call us, you don't give 100% financing? No. This is an investor deal. You know what an investor does?
He invests money.
Yeah. So come on. These are non-owner occupied investor deals. They put their portion up at closing, and we can do all the creative stuff, second liens, all the cross collateralization.
And you have to take in consideration too, when you bring in a financier, someone who's going to finance your project, you have to take in consideration that entity, whether it be a bank, whether it be a hard money lender, whether it be an investor, someone like that, they're actually investing into the property with you.
Yeah.
They're your JV partner.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not going to want to take over the whole thing.
Yeah.
If they do 100% financing, why aren't they getting the profit?
Exactly. And that's another thing. Now, you have to think, we think, and if you're ever in this business, you would do the same thing. We have to think on every deal as if we're going to take it back. If we got this, an example, we've had properties brought to us, numbers were perfect. We said, wow, this is a good deal. And then we say, let's take a look at the property. And we go, wow.
Therein lies the rub.
And we go, this is not a rehab, it's a tear down.
Yes.
No marketability. Because we have to look at this. If we foreclosed on this, what could we do with it? It has no marketability. It's a tear down. And so you have to think in this process too. It's hard to get investors to think like us because we do this daily. But
And that's one thing. You raise a great point. Investors are going to deal one, maybe two deals at a time.
yeah,
Okay, they're only going to be looking at a few different properties at a time. They're only going to be buying maybe one, maybe two properties at a time. So as far as they may have been in business for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, but they're only going to look at a few deals at a time. I mean, we're looking at anywhere 10, 12 deals in a week.
yeah, it's a lot.
And so we have to do a lot of these evaluations so we can see where a lot of pitfalls are. And some of the funding sources that we use, they review these same files as well, and they're reviewing 10 times, 20 times as many as we are. So they're also giving us their tidbits of information.
And and that's another thing. On the fix and flip versus the 30-year product. On a fix and flip, we can actually do an appraisal. We do a desktop. We can do it either the same day or the following day. That's how quick it moves. That's why we can move these deals quick. In some of our fix and flips, we'll actually send an inspector out there to inspect the rehab work. And on some of them, we're gonna take the list. If it makes sense, we're gonna run with it. But later on in life, once we close, if that list changes, you may have to come out of pocket to do it if you skipped a few items, so to speak. But also on the 30-year products, the appraisal is taking a week and a half on some of these deals. That's why it takes 2 weeks to close the 30-year products.
Yeah, especially right now. Consider interest rates for conventional loans are at an all-time low. We heard the other day, we heard someone, they got a quote on a 15-year mortgage at 1.85.
Basically, they're paying you to refi.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for interest rates to go in the negative. So since those are so low, there's a lot of people wanting to do refinances. When they do refis, every one of them needs an appraisal.
Yeah.
So appraisers are out there running like crazy.
And imagine these little companies doing this that are probably doing 30-plus refis a month, and thousands of these companies nationwide, and there's only a certain amount of appraisers. So when we come in and ask for an appraisal, we have to get in line just like everyone else.
Yeah. Let's talk just real quick on the importance of a full appraisal.
Yeah.
Some people say, no, I don't have time for an appraisal. Let's do a BPO or a desktop appraisal. What do you think is a little bit more accurate, Sydney? A desktop appraisal or a full walkthrough appraisal?
Well, my personal opinion is the comparables are going to come from the same swimming pool. I don't see any difference between a BPO and a desktop. And a full walkthrough appraisal.
Now, we've had a couple of these before where they've come in and they said, no, my property's worth this because I've done X, Y, and Z to the property.
Yeah, that's that emotional attachment. Okay.
That does happen, but
you painted the back room purple, and that's going to do what to the value?
but still, doing a full walkthrough appraisal
Yeah.
sometimes can bring you a little bit more value in the appraisal. But let's be honest, an appraisal, if by buying a full walkthrough appraisal, you're buying an actual appraisal, you can keep that on
Yeah.
record, and it's going to be good for a
If
while.
it's from an AMC, you can use it again.
You can use it again. So if you don't like the terms that one lender gave you, you could take that one appraisal and you can shop it around to others. Same thing with your credit report. If you've got a lender that's going to check your credit report, you could pull your full credit report yourself. Get a tri-merge credit report, pull it yourself, and then you can send that, as long as it's been done with, what is it, 30 days, 60 days?
I think it's 30.
30 days. You could take that one credit report and then send it to the other lenders, so this way they don't have to do those hard hits on your credit report.
Which brings up something else. If you are ordering a full-blown appraisal from Allure Financial, from ABC Company, wherever, make sure that appraisal you're paying for comes from an AMC appraisal company, appraisal maintenance company, because that appraisal can now go to anyone, anywhere, any lender that you have, versus you use Joe's local, appraisal shop on the corner.
Chucking a truck that does
Chucking a
appraisals.
truck, yeah.
He also does plumbing
Yeah, that guy.
and extermination.
You're going to get bad news when you switch lenders. They're going to require you to pay for a second appraisal on this. And you say, I just had one done, but it wasn't from the AMC. So make sure it's an AMC company that does your appraisal. And when we do our long-term products, we use AMCs. We're going to take another commercial break. Then we're going to wrap it up with another discussion. But the next discussion is something that's going to make you money on your project. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Allura Financial wants to be your business partner in real estate investment. A loyal advisor for financing your investment projects with fast closings, competitive rates, and a team that puts your interests first. Letting us help you with your REI will allow you to do more of this and less of this. More fun here and less stress here. Call us now and let us welcome you into the Allura family. Allura Financial is now offering fix and flip financing up to 90% of the purchase price, no upfront fees, and we still have our no credit check options. So what are you waiting for? Call today.
All right, welcome back to the closing table with the money guy, Sidney Young.
Jared Parrish.
Now, before we went to break, I said we're going to talk about something that makes you money.
Because we got your money.
Okay, we're going to talk about, we're very fortunate. We have a humongous list of people that buy real estate properties.
It's huge. It's huge.
It's a huge one, I swear. Jeez, I don't even turn the lights out. But we have some very active buyers. So when you fixing your property and you're wanting to flip it, or maybe you found a property and you want to wholesale it, we can actually help out on that too, can't we?
We can. If you go out and you find wholesale properties, a lot of people are good at one thing or the other. They're great at finding wholesale properties and getting them under contract, but they're terrible at the disposition. They're terrible at getting it out there and sold. We're great at that.
We love
If
it.
you have access,
We love it, Lucy. We love it.
we do. So we could set up a joint venture deal with you on your wholesale properties and help you get rid of any inventory that you have in wholesale.
We only ask, I think it's a 1%. You get the one, we get 99. Pretty fair.
Yeah, I think that's
pretty
totally fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we'll split it. And typically, how long does it take to get these things sold?
About a week, sometimes sooner. Realistically, if the numbers are right.
As far as a commitment, though.
Oh, we get the commitment almost overnight because here's what we do. We have our list, which is a little over 3,000 prospective buyers that we send this to. Sometimes they don't even make it to that list. We have our VIP list. I say we pick up the phone and we call.
Top 3 or 4.
Uncle C, which by the way I think is mafia. Uncle C, we got this deal. Do you want it? He's probably one of the first ones we call. Then we start on our list from there. We very rarely get out of our VIP list to make it into the main list, and we get a commitment. So if you have a wholesale property, and the numbers right now. With that being said, we do not want a wholesale chain.
No. If you're picking up a contract from another wholesaler who has it under contract with another wholesaler who's buying it from the actual owner, keep it.
Yeah.
Not interested.
Another thing, We don't need no third-party interactions, meaning a realtor.
No.
Love you, realtors. Y'all are wonderful.
Same thing goes for someone who's wanting to buy a wholesale property as a fix and flip. They're trying to get their own fix and flip project, and then we get a phone call from the realtor.
Yeah. And how you know is when the conversation starts out, "Hi, I'm Sue. I got a client." Oh, God. Here we go.
No, when it always starts out with, "I have a client."
Now, we will deal, but we're going to deal directly with the client, not through a third party.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it ain't
once you
working.
start setting up that phone chain,
Yeah.
where Bob has to tell Susie, and Susie tells, no,
Yeah.
we'll just deal directly with them.
Now, we have...
But I mean, this isn't about what we do as far as our internal processes. We're talking about making them money.
Yeah, there you go. We're so freaking greedy, man.
know,
We're talking
right?
about it ourselves, how we make
Because
us money.
let's say, for instance, if I was
Hey,
an
by
investor,
the way, how's that new Bentley doing? Is it doing well with you?
it's doing good.
Yeah.
Gas mileage is terrible though. Insurance. Oh my God, the insurance is bad.
Okay. We don't
No,
have
but so
Bentleys.
I wish. But if I was a real estate investor and I
Yeah.
came to you,
Yeah.
you're probably going to help me figure out how much more money I can make out of it.
Let me tell you something. If you ever had the timing is right, the timing is right. Right now, it is, you see the hurricane, and they will say, if you're in the eye of the hurricane, it's supposed to be the calmest time. Right now, we are in the eye of the hurricane. There's properties out there that are popping up that are for sale, that distress buyers. But as this time frame moves on the hurricane, the other wind is getting ready to hit. And when the other wind hits, it's going to be destructive. And I say destructive, I mean financially, it's going to be a profitable windfall for all investors involved because people are going to be hurting. Explain to why.
With all the forbearance plans that went out during COVID, a lot of people didn't understand what a forbearance plan was. And it doesn't mean you're skipping a payment. It just means you're not paying it right now. If you took a 6-month forbearance plan, at the end of 6 months, you have to pay all 6 payments. And there's millions of Americans that don't know that.
Yeah.
And then when their forbearance plan comes due, if they haven't been working the past 6 months, if they weren't able to make their payments during those 6 months, how the hell are they going to make those 6
They're
payments
not.
altogether?
Which is, it creates an opportunity for a wholesaler. It also it helps ease the pain of the homeowner too, because they're not going to face foreclosure. So it's going to create opportunity up there. And that second band of the hurricane is the first band was when COVID hit. We're now in the eye of the storm. The second band is getting ready, and then when I say getting ready, by the end of the year it will be here, and we're already seeing some of that happening. So anyway, if you have a wholesale property, you're looking to sell it, you don't have an extensive list of people buying, remember, call us. Allure Financial, 833-896-6639, allurefinancial.com. Jared, when's our next podcast?
We will be here on Thursday. Same time. Come check us out.
Same bet channel. The Closing Table with the Money Guys. I'm Sidney Young.
Jared Perry.
Till next time, we'll see you.